Wasteland.com. Shirts are in the link in the description if you want. Let me know if this audio sounds fine. People were bitching about the audio from the webcam mic, so then I switched to the Blue Snowball mic, but it doesn't pick up volume quite as well. The quality is really good, but it doesn't pick up, so I moved it a little bit closer. I can try to raise the volume, but you guys just can't be pleased, man. I don't know what to tell you if you don't like this, changing things up. Also, I'm definitely stuffy, so if you notice a little bit of difference in my sound of my voice, that is why. But this video is about something that I don't think I'd heard anyone talk about before on YouTube, and it's related to eating your food during a shit the fan scenario. Whether that's your canned ubiquitous Spam rations, your long-term food storage like the great Legacy Foods, which I also have a link in the description to that as well, or you can get the prepackaged Packers Pantry or Mountain House style MREs, whatever you want. This video is more about how you should eat, not what you should eat or what your diet should be necessarily, because that's, you know, up to you as long as you're getting enough calories, and people can have all sorts of different ideas about what is healthy or healthiest. But this video is specifically about an idea for how you should eat and how you should structure your meals. I think one of the things that would probably make sense in most serious disaster scenarios would be to follow the OMAD, or 1 meal a day type system, where you eat one massive meal a day. And there's several reasons for this, and most of it's related to the fact that grouping your meals together like that would use a lot less resources. Not necessarily less food, you know, because you need to just make sure you're eating the right amount of calories, whether that's in one meal or multiple meals. But it takes less resources of pretty much every other kind. Less time to prepare, less time to clean, less resources cleaning, you know, less soap, less dirty dishes, things like that, less cleaning, scrub, sponges, whatever, less energy to heat and cook the food because you're doing more at once, so the unit of fuel per unit of food is going to be less when you cook it all in one big meal versus starting multiple meals. So your fire starting implementations, whether that's matches, a striker, whatever, unless you're using like a magnifying glass in the sun or something like that, it's going to use less of your fire starting equipment, less of the tinder and kindling, all sorts of fuel, less propane, whatever you want to do, things like that. Even if you're using something like the sun oven, which is a fantastic way, it'll use a hell of a lot less time, you know, to cook one giant meal. And something like the sun oven, you can fit a giant pot in there. So certainly if you're talking about one person, you can do enough for one. Even 2 or 3 people, you could probably do a whole 1 meal a day type meal for 3 people in something like a sun oven or a regular stove. And then you have less time that people have to be taken away from doing other tasks like guard duty or literally anything else. The only exception I would say is that, you know, like intermittent fasting and 1 meal a day type meal plans are shown to be pretty beneficial even in like just normal day-to-day life, with the exception of probably if you were going for maximum performance. So if you're really in an incredibly strenuous, you know, constantly requiring effort type situation, then you would probably need to have, you know, some sort of fuel, carbohydrates spaced out during the throughout the day. But that's only in extreme scenarios, because people have shown you can be really active and still get really good performance on like an intermittent fasting or 1 meal a day type of program. And it's really only at like elite athlete, professional athlete levels that you would need to have, you know, more carbohydrate stuff spaced out throughout the day. And so certainly in a survival situation where you're talking about not only probably rationing your food, but wanting to control your use of everything else, you know, like I mentioned, the fuel, the time, everything, I think it makes a lot of sense to have 1 or, you know, at most 2 meals a day and not have 3, certainly not 5 or 6 meals a day. Now, obviously, if you're talking about just eating things cold, maybe there would be somewhat of an exception, but still you're talking about time, talking about cleaning, you know, all those different things. So a lot less resources are used the fewer meals that you eat throughout the day. So it's something to think about. It's not necessarily going to work for everyone or every situation, but it's going to be my go-to plan in the event of a serious shit the fan scenario when I start digging into my preparedness. And certainly for a small group, I think it makes even more sense. The larger the group, the less likely it would matter. But because you're going to have things like different people on different shifts for security and things like that. If you had 30, 40 people in your compound, you're probably going to have various types of food preparation going on at different times throughout the day. But if you have 1 or 2 people, taking time away from, you know, being able to keep watch or do other work, food prep, fuel use, that's going to matter a lot more. So consolidating that into one meal a day would make even more sense the fewer people you have in your group. Something to think about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.